The birth of the net, how the military ARPANET project evolved into the global internet. Part 1, The Cold War, Sputnik, and the Need to Protect Knowledge, 1957 to 1962. The story of the creation of the global network that changed the world did not begin with an idea of universal information sharing, but with the fear of nuclear war and a strategic necessity. The catalyst was the Cold War. On October 4, 1957, the Soviet Union launched Sputnik 1, the first artificial Earth satellite. For the United States of America, this was not only a technological shock but an existential threat. This moment, known as the Sputnik crisis, immediately triggered a radical re-evaluation of American science and technology policy. There was a realization that the U.S. was lagging in key technological areas, particularly rocketry and space exploration. In response to this challenge, the U.S. Department of Defense established the Advanced Research Projects Agency, ARPA, in 1958. ARPA's main objective was to fund cutting-edge research in technologies that could ensure U.S. military superiority in the future. A critical problem to be solved was communication vulnerability. In the event of a possible nuclear conflict, the traditional communication network, based on circuit switching, i.e., physical connections like telephone lines, was too centralized. The destruction of one or more key nodes could paralyze the entire command and control system. To address this, in 1962, ARPA created the Information Processing Techniques Office, IPTO, led by the visionary known as J.C.R. Licklider. Licklider's vision, the Intergalactic Computer Network. Licklider, a psychologist and pioneer in computer science, had a clear vision of the future. He didn't just want to connect computers. He dreamed of an intergalactic computer network, a system that would allow researchers worldwide to exchange data and ideas in real time. Licklider did not invent the technology itself, but he was its architect. He convinced ARPA that future military superiority would depend not on hardware, but on information and the ability of scientists to exchange it quickly. Under his direction, ARPA began funding research aimed at connecting computers at various universities and research centers working on defense projects. Part 2, The Scientific Foundation, Packet Switching, 1960s. Before physically connecting computers, a completely new method of data transmission had to be developed. Traditional telephone networks, based on circuit switching, required dedicating a constant physical connection for the duration of a call. If the line was interrupted, communication was lost. For exchanging data between computers, this was highly inefficient and unreliable. During this period, several scientists, working independently, developed the concept that became the cornerstone of the Internet, packet switching. Paul Barron, Rand Corporation, in the early 1960s, Barron, working for the U.S. Air Force, developed a communication system that could survive a nuclear strike. His concept involved creating a distributed network without a single central hub. Data would be broken down into small, numbered blocks, packets, that could independently find alternative routes through the network, even if some nodes were destroyed. Donald Davies, National Physical Laboratory, UK. Around the same time, Davies in the UK developed a very similar concept, which he named packet switching. He is credited with coining the term. The essence of packet switching was as follows. A message, e.g., an email, is broken down into many small, manageable packets. Each packet contains the sender's address, the recipient's address, and a sequence number. The packets are sent into the network, and each one can follow completely different routes. At the recipient's computer, the packets are reassembled in the correct order. If any packet is lost, the sender is notified and resends it. This principle ensured both reliability and efficiency. Barron's network was not only resilient, it was able to handle peak loads much better than traditional telephone networks. Part 3, The Creation of ARPANET, 1967 to 1972. In 1966, Robert Taylor took over leadership of the project at ARPA. Along with the chief engineer he appointed, Larry Roberts, they began bringing Licklider's and Barron's ideas to life, creating ARPANET. The ARPANET project was officially launched in 1967, and its implementation was entrusted to a small company called Bolt Beranek and Newman, BBN. BBN was tasked with building the first routers. They created specialized mini-computers called Interface Message Processors, IMPs. IMPs became the first routers in history, using the principles of packet switching to connect computers into a network. Historical ARPANET milestones. September 1, 1969, the first IMP was installed at the University of California, Los Angeles, UCLA. A Sigma 7 computer was connected to it. October 1, 1969, the second IMP was installed at the Stanford Research Institute, SRI. The computers at the two universities were successfully connected, and the first electronic data exchange in history took place. The first message, LO. The most famous moment in the network's history occurred on October 29, 1969. A programmer at UCLA, Charlie Klein, was attempting to send the message log-in to SRI. He typed the letter L and asked over the phone, "Do you see the L?" He was told, "Yes." He typed the O and asked, "Do you see the O?" He was told, "Yes." After that, the system crashed. Thus, the first message ever sent over the ARPANET was LO, as in lo and behold. Despite the crash, it proved the technology worked. By the end of 1969, ARPANET consisted of 4 nodes, including the University of Utah and the University of California, Santa Barbara. By 1971, the network had expanded to 15 nodes, linking the U.S.'s leading research centers. Part 4. The birth of email and network culture, 1971 to 1974. ARPANET was created for sharing computing power and data, but users soon discovered that the most valuable thing about the network was human communication. In 1971, BBN engineer Ray Tomlinson developed the first program for sending messages between computers. He took existing programs for exchanging messages within a single computer and modified them to work across the network. It was Tomlinson who chose the @ symbol to separate the user's name from the host address, creating the format still in use today. Email became ARPANET's first real killer app. It was not just a technical novelty but a social phenomenon. By 1973, email accounted for up to 75% of all ARPANET traffic, which surprised and delighted ARPA. They realized that their project, created for military survival, had found its true calling in communication. In 1972, Larry Roberts organized the first International Conference on Computer Communication, ICCC. Here, a public demonstration of ARPANET with 40 computers connected took place. This was the moment the academic community first saw the network's potential, and interest in it soared. Part 5, Protocol Evolution, the birth of TCP/IP, 1974 to 1983. ARPANET successfully proved the concept of packet switching, but it had one serious drawback. It was a closed system running on one single protocol. To create a global, open network, the problem of internetworking had to be solved. That is, how to connect different networks, satellite networks, radio networks, local area networks, each with its own rules and protocols. In 1973, Vinton Cerf and Bob Kahn, working for ARPA, began developing a protocol of protocols that could unify the rules of data transfer. The result of their work was the Transmission Control Protocol, TCP. In 1974, they published the paper A Protocol for Packet Network Intercommunication, which first described the TCP design. Subsequently, the protocol was divided into 2 parts. TCP, Transmission Control Protocol, responsible for breaking data into packets and reassembling them correctly at the destination. Ensures reliable delivery. IP, Internet Protocol, responsible for addressing and routing the packets, ensuring they find their way through the complex network of connected networks, hence the name Internet. The combination of these 2 protocols, TCP/IP, became the foundation for the entire modern Internet. The Internet's birthday, January 1, 1983. After several years of protocol experimentation, ARPA decided on a complete transition to TCP/IP. January 1, 1983, was the Flag Day, or cutover. On this day, ARPANET officially switched from the previous NCP protocol to TCP/IP. This date is considered the formal birthday of the modern Internet, as it was then that the Universal Technological Foundation was adopted, allowing the network to grow exponentially. Part 6. Commercialization and Global Growth, 1984 to 1995. After 1983, ARPANET, still managed by the Department of Defense, became too large and too academic for its military objectives. The military decided to separate. The separation of MILNET, 1984. The military portion of ARPANET was spun off into a separate, closed network called MILNET. The remaining ARPANET continued to serve academic research. The birth of ENSFnet, 1985. The U.S. National Science Foundation, NSF, created its own network, ENSFnet, which used TCP/IP technology and had much greater bandwidth than the aging ARPANET. ENSFnet was initially intended to connect universities to 5 U.S. supercomputing centers. The key NSF rule. The NSF established a strict rule: ENSFnet could not be used for commercial activity. This rule, though intended to ensure the purity of academic research, effectively suppressed the commercial growth of the Internet for nearly a decade. In the late 1980s and early 1990s, the Internet, using TCP/IP, grew rapidly, linking thousands of university, government, and corporate networks. But it remained a complex, text-based interface accessible only to scientists and engineers. The death of ARPANET, 1990. In 1990, ARPANET, having fulfilled its historic mission, was officially decommissioned. Its place was taken by ENSFnet. Part 7. The WWW, Mosaic, and the Internet Explosion, 1991 to 2000. The final, decisive step that turned the complex Internet into the universally accessible World Wide Web was taken in Europe. 1991. Tim Berners-Lee and the WWW. Physicist Tim Berners-Lee, working at the European Organization for Nuclear Research, CERN, was looking for a simple way to share research documents among physicists worldwide. He invented 3 key technologies: HTML, hypertext markup language, the language for creating web pages; HTTP, hypertext transfer protocol, the protocol for transferring web pages; URL, universal resource locator, the universal address for identifying resources on the network. The combination of these technologies was named the World Wide Web, WWW. Unlike TCP/IP, which was the foundation, the WWW was the application or interface that made information accessible. 1993, the birth of the graphical browser. The invention of the WWW itself did not ignite the Internet. It required a simple tool. In 1993, at the National Center for Supercomputing Applications, NCSA, at the University of Illinois, a team led by Mark Andreessen created the first graphical web browser, Mosaic. Mosaic made the WWW intuitive. It allowed images and text to be viewed together, and navigation was achieved with a simple mouse click on a hyperlink. 1995, the removal of commercial restrictions. In 1995, the U.S. National Science Foundation lifted the rule prohibiting commercial activity on ENSFnet. At this point, private providers, AOL, CompuServe, and others, gained the ability to offer Internet access services. ENSFnet was decommissioned, and the Internet fully transitioned into private hands. The convergence of the WWW, Mosaic, which evolved into Netscape, and commercial freedom led to the explosive growth of the Internet as we know it. The military project, created to survive a nuclear war, became the most powerful force for global communication and economy. The story of ARPANET is proof that government funding for fundamental research and open knowledge sharing can lead to a technological revolution that surpasses the wildest military or academic expectations.